now I want to just take some time just to look at the theological basis. So theology just means your knowledge of God. So as we look at scripture, what conclusions are we making? And in John, Acts, and the epistles, we see how God's heart for all people influenced the formation of the early church. So we're going to look at Jesus' prayer in John 17. We're going to look at the book of Luke, which is the story of the church, just really kind of quickly. And then Paul in his writings, just some of the key ones that talks about this. And so looking at John 17, this is a familiar passage, I think, for many of us. But on the night before the cross, so Jesus is going to the cross, and he had communion, and now he's moving to the cross, and he's praying, and he shows his heart for the future of the church. He shows his heart for us. So if you look at John 17, it's really broken up. Verses first 5 verses is his prayer, is the mission, his mission that God gave him to the world. And then 6 to 19 is his mission with his disciples. And then 20 to 26 is his mission passed to us. And so Jesus came to the world. He revealed God to us. And it wasn't just information. That's what's key in this, is as you read the prayer, it's not just data. It's experiential knowledge that he moved in. And I think that's really important for us to understand, that he didn't just give a track. Not that that's wrong, but he wanted to enter in to reveal God in the flesh, so that they and we could have an experience of God on earth for a personal relationship. And so that's what he's talking about in the first 5 verses. And then 6 to 19, he moves to his mission with the disciples, and he starts to pray for them. They're his first fruits of his mission, the first people that joined him. And so they're the ones that he's going to pass his baton to. And so he prays for their protection, because he knows it's going to be difficult. And he also prays for their unity in mission, that they would be one together. Now that's interesting, because then when he gets to 20 to 26, he's praying for us. Did you know that? That Jesus is praying for the future disciples. He's praying for us. On the night before he died, Jesus had you on his mind. And this is the fruit of the disciples as they pass on and are witnesses to others. And as they pass on and as we pass on, this is Jesus' heart. And so what was his prayer for us? Well, it's verse 21 to 22, that all of them would be one. Why? That the world may believe. So there again, he has the whole world on his heart. Oneness promotes the gospel in a powerful way when all peoples come together. So when you think of this prayer in light of the scriptures we just looked at, that God's moving this world into every tribe, tongue, and nation together, the assumption of this prayer is that everyone's different, that no one's the same. That's why he's praying, because it's going to take prayer. And so God needs to do the work. And the reason for this is that the world may believe. Now, for the Jews, they saw God as their exclusive right because they felt the world needed wrath. But Jesus says, no, they needed love. And so only Jesus can unite the world. And he wants all peoples to experience his love in the church, who is supposed to represent God's heart and welcome all people together. I think about this just even on a year ago when we met as a church for the first time at the community center. Justin from the city came to see this, because the city's trying to bring the world together. Did you know that the third highest need identified by the city of Bellevue is a cross-cultural fragmentation? That with all the cultures coming together, they can't get people to connect. And so he came to the church to see what's going on. His comment to me was, wow, that's interesting. It's like, what's interesting? And he says, and he's Taiwanese. He said, I would never have expected so many Chinese in this church, in his view, an American church. Like he's like, and he's in my experience, our Chinese people he's speaking, not me, just meet together. He's like, what are you guys doing that this is exactly what the city wants? That's the power of the gospel. That the gospel brings people of every tribe, tongue, and nation together. And so we can represent God's heart to the world by the very nature of being a church of diverse people focused on Jesus. Now, this is Jesus' prayer. Only Jesus can unite the world. He wants all people groups of the world to experience his love in the church, who's to welcome all people in his name.